Allow me to welcome Encik Arham Abdul Rahman, CEO MIDA, and Puan Surina Shukri, CEO MDEC, to deliver the welcome remarks and special address.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and a very good day to all. First and foremost, I would like to extend my warm welcome to this webinar on Digital Investment Office, your one-stop for digital investment needs. It is indeed a great pleasure to collaborate with Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation or MDEC in organizing this fitting platform for the digital business community and stakeholders to engage and exchange valuable information. Given the program lineup today, I am confident that participants will gain beneficial insights on the digital value propositions for Malaysian businesses in key sectors to enable transformations towards digital economy as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic has placed unprecedented strains on global trade and economy, testing the threshold of nations across the world. Nevertheless, the pandemic has also propelled us on exciting possible routes to do business through new and emerging tech trends guided by the high technology, Industry 4.0 and digitalization features. Malaysia strives in these challenges as we intensify efforts to sustain businesses confronting hurdles and daunting trials. The economy is progressively reinvigorating on the path of recovery as indicators are projecting better growth for 2021. As the principal investment promotion agency of Malaysia, MIDA has always targeting quality investment projects where technologies which are new to Malaysia get absorbed into the domestic ecosystem and grow into productivity levels of workforce, increasing efficiency as well as build up local supply chain capabilities. MIDA joins its efforts with IPAs of specific scope, such as MDEC, to offer best value proposition to potential investors to choose Malaysia as their production or services center in this region. The government's resilient efforts in attracting investment amidst the global COVID-19 pandemic bore impressive results as Malaysia recorded a total of 80.6 billion ringgit Malaysia worth of approved investment in the manufacturing, services and primary sectors in the Q1 2021, a surge of 95.6% from the same period last year, which is 41.2 billion ringgit Malaysia. The aggressive strategy to attract high-level investments saw foreign investments representing 68.1% of the total of 54.9 billion ringgit Malaysia, while domestic investments accounted for 25.7 billion ringgit Malaysia or 31.6%. The approved 993 projects will be generating over 32,500 jobs for Malaysians. Malaysia's economy is expected to recover on real GDP growth projection of 4.7% based on the latest World Economic Outlook by International Monetary Fund in July 2021, positioning the country among the higher growth nations in ASEAN. Ladies and gentlemen, as the digital economy is the engine of future growth for Malaysia, the setting up of Digital Investment Office or DIO that was endorsed by the Prime Minister Yang Amat Berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Haji Mahyudin bin Muhammad Yassin during the National Council of Digital Economy and Fourth Industrial Revolution on 22nd of April 2021 is indeed timely. It is in line with the evolution of the global investment landscape towards digitalization and Industry 4.0, creating unique and interesting value proposition for digital projects. The DIO is to coordinate, assess and evaluate digital investment projects while providing end-to-end facilitation to investors. DIO will also put forward future-ready policies and guides on talent requirement, digital infrastructure, networks, and address operational issues faced by businesses during the current pandemic and beyond. This initiative will further solidify Malaysia's aim to reinvigorate the national agenda to enhance competitiveness as formulated in the National Investment Aspirations or NIA, which focus on coherence and cohesiveness across all national policy initiatives relating to investment, including the new Industrial Master Plan and the 12th Malaysia Plan. The clusters of digital enablers, including AI, machine learning, cybersecurity, and 5G, will expand opportunities of support services, skill jobs, and productivity upskilling among both large and small business communities. This industry of the future is the key of modern industrial strategy for a resilient economy. The DIO will lead proper coordination and partnership between MIDA, MDEC, and other IPAs for inflows of digital investments into Malaysia. The office is committed towards My Digital initiative to attract digital investment of 70 billion ringgit Malaysia worth of investment by 2025, while contributing to digital economy share in Malaysia's GDP from the current 19.1% to 22.6%. Ladies and gentlemen, the one-stop digital website branded as Malaysia as the heart of digital ASEAN or MODA has gone live under the establishment of DIO to serve its purpose in allowing us to make swift decisions in handling investors' needs and assuring investors to firm up investment plans and proceed on the project implementation. The new website, MODA, will act as a single window for digital investment projects to ease and expedite digital investors' projects in assisting the DIO to anchor global technology leaders, build local champions, and nurture future-ready talent in Malaysia. Designed based on the user experience, the website includes features of easy navigation, user-friendly interface, quick access to news, insights on Malaysia digital initiatives, dedicated section of FAQs, and submission procedure of investment proposals. Providing a cohesive and supportive ecosystem in an efficient operating environment is imperative to entice quality investment to Malaysia. DIO will play its profound role to strengthen Malaysia's capabilities and the nation's competitiveness and as an ideal business terrace for companies in the digital space. Moving forward, MIDA is optimistic that the DIO, through its MODA platform, is a stepping stone towards the country's digital evolution, especially in transforming the new and existing economic clusters through digital enablers, high-income job creations, and digital upskilling of the local workforce and businesses. These will further drive towards positioning Malaysia as the preferred digital hub and firmly establish Malaysia as the heart of digital ASEAN. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned just now, the MODA official website is live on board now. Hope all of you will take the opportunity to browse through the website and keep engaging us on your business expansion plans. On that note, thank you and have a very good day ahead and stay safe.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and a very good morning to everybody. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Malaysia Tech Month 2021. It's an exciting day for us as today marks the day the Malaysia Heart of Digital ASEAN portal by the Digital Investment Office, or DIO, goes live. The DIO is a collaboration between the Malaysian Investment Development Authority, or MIDA, and MDEC. It's a tremendous step forward towards streamlining Malaysia's approach to attract new digital investments in the country and facilitate expansion of investors in the country. DIO is a collaboration between Malaysia Investment Development Authority, better known as MIDA, and MDEC. And it's a tremendous step forward towards streamlining the way that we serve investors and facilitate investment into the country. This creation of a single platform to coordinate and streamline all digital investments in the country shows our commitment to accomplishing goals set by MyDigital, which enables creating an inclusive digital society and building an enabling infrastructure. The Malaysia Heart of Digital ASEAN portal, or MIDA, encapsulates what the Digital Investment Office is in practice. With this, investors will be able to conveniently submit their application through a single entry point, thus easing the facilitation of investments. The establishment of the MIDA portal is part of MDEC's continued commitment towards making Malaysia the go-to destination for digital investments and building upon our country's aspiration to position itself as the heart of digital ASEAN. We recently announced our Digital Investments Future 5 strategy, or DIF5, which is a 5-year plan focusing on 5 key thrusts aimed at attracting investments and advancing Malaysia's digital economy. The initiative, which will run from 2021 to 2025, following the 12th Malaysia Plan, aims to secure high-quality digital investments in our journey to unlock new drivers of growth in the digital economy. Thus far, MDEC has collectively brought in 345 billion worth investments via MSC Malaysia since our inception in 1996, as well as creating more than 184,000 jobs and housing 40 of the Forbes 100 companies in Malaysia. We have lofty goals with our Future 5 strategy. By 2025, we aim to bring 50 billion ringgit of investments in the digital economy and to attract 50 Fortune 500 tech companies to land and expand in Malaysia. We're also targeting the establishment of 5 unicorns and the creation of 50,000 high-value jobs in the MSC. For this, we have identified 5 industry sectors that are the key drivers of the digital economy. They are AgTech, Health Tech, Clean Tech, EduTech, FinTech, and the Islamic digital economy. From here, we believe that attracting and driving investments in 5 focused technologies are important, namely cloud computing, data centers, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and digital content tools. With the Digital Investment Office and MIDA portal going live, we'll be able to better attract and facilitate investments into these key sectors. And this hopefully ultimately will accelerate the digitalization of the country's key industries and thus have high impact on jobs and contribution to GDP. With this, and with the help of our partners and the support of the government, we're confident that the goals set forth by our Future 5 strategy will be the future of Malaysia. To conclude, I'd like to thank MIDA for its support and the government for its continued confidence in MDEC in achieving the goals of MyDigital and Shared Prosperity Vision 2030. MDEC is now celebrating its 25th anniversary as a digital enabler and specialist digital investment promotion agency. The DIO and MIDA, we believe that MIDA and MDEC are ready to up our game and deliver more for Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you, Encik Arham and Puan Surina, for those warm words of welcome. Let us now welcome the first panel of the day, entitled Digital Investment Office, your one-stop shop for all digital investment needs, which will be moderated by Mr. Yi Weng Peng, the CEO of Deloitte Malaysia. Over to you, Mr. Yee.
Thank you. So we have just heard about the Malaysian government recently established the Digital Investment Office, DIO, which is a collaboration between MIDA and MDEC, acting as a single window to coordinate and streamline all foreign and domestic digital investments in the countries. I'm very sure the investors, including Deloitte, would be very glad to hear that. And just a moment ago, we witnessed the launch of the Digital Investment Office Malaysia Heart of Digital ASEAN portal by the Honorable Datuk Sri Mustafa Muhammad, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department. With the introduction of this portal, investors will be able to conveniently submit the application through this single entry point, thus easing the facilitations of investment. This is a significant step for Malaysia in shaping out the digital investment landscape, as the DIO also endeavors to strengthen the coordination among all investment promotion agencies in promoting and attracting digital investment into this country. What exactly is DIO and how does it operate? What is Malaysia's unique value proposition to attract digital investment? Discover all this and more from our two very experienced panelists. Let me now introduce to you Puan Rosedalina, Ramlan from MIDA, and Razif Aziz from MDEC. Puan Rose is a director in the Business Services and Operation Division of MIDA. Her career path in MIDA began in 2022. Throughout her years of service in MIDA, she has served across multiple departments, which include ICT and Electrical Industry Division, Electrical and Electronic Industrial Division, with her primary responsibilities revolving around promoting both foreign and domestic investment in Malaysia. Puan Rose also serves as the Deputy Director of MIDA Los Angeles for 3 years, from 2010 to 2013, during which her responsibility was to promote US investment into Malaysia. She's now in charge of the promotion of investment in the business services and regional operation, as well as coordinating and facilitating the development of these sectors with other relevant ministries and agencies. The second panelist is Razif Aziz, who is now the Vice President of Investment and Grant MDEC. A senior executive with over 23 years of experience in a variety of roles ranging from business development, corporate, legal, communication, and sales and marketing in various sectors, including defense, telecom, broadcasting, biotech, and government. Razif is passionate about dynamics between the business and the role of technology and the government plays in its development, and have written extensively on tech, startup innovation, and the challenges of commercialization as a columnist of local science and daily newspapers. He has drafted telecom and broadcast industry subsidiary legislation, consulted for renewable energy and cleanup startup, helping them navigate the commercial legal aspect of their businesses, acting as a technical advisor for the Malaysian Sustainable Energy Development Authority on aspects of the feed-in tariff framework, and had led the management of a large-scale tech development program, such as Malaysia's push into biotech development in 2006 to 2012. Without much ado, before we proceed with a very interesting Q&A panel discussion, let me first invite Puan Rose and Razif to make a short presentation about DIO. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Yee. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. My name is Rosedalina Ramlan. I'm from MIDA, and I will be presenting Digital Investment Office on behalf of MIDA and also MDEC. Next slide, please. Okay. What is DIO, or Digital Investment Office? So, DIO is a single collaborative platform to coordinate and facilitate digital investment into the country. This establishment was endorsed by the National Council of Digital Economy and Fourth Industrial Revolution, or in short, MED4AR, which was chaired by Yang Amat Berhormat Prime Minister on 22nd April earlier this year. The setting up of DIO will help to accelerate our digital promotion activity initiative in attracting 70 billion ringgit worth of investment in digitalization by the year 2025, which is also in line with the investment targeted under the My Digital Blueprint. Digital economy is the future growth of the country. So why do you need DIO? 4 reasons. First reason is Malaysia needs structured governance on investment promotion and facilitation, which support promotion activity that enable and strengthen the digital ecosystem. Second reason, Malaysia needs to streamline and expedite investment processes. This is where DIO and respective IPAs will decide the best location, availability of tax incentive package, and other matters pertaining to digital investments. Third reason is MIDA has been leading Malaysia's investment promotion activity for more than 50 years, and MDEC is the subject matter expert in digital. So this collaboration will further optimize MIDA and MDEC respective expertise in the digital investment landscape. Last but not least, the role of DIO is critical towards facilitating digital investment, which is consistent and aligned with the My Digital Blueprint and the National Investment Aspirations, or in short, NIA, guided by the Shared Prosperity Vision 2030. Next. In the nutshell, DIO framework is based on 4 pillars: coordination, evaluation, facilitation, and policy advocacy, which covers end-to-end facilitation and policy advocacy to investors, starting from when the investor indicates their interest until they start their operation in Malaysia. So under the coordination pillar, DIO will first assess digital investment leads or commercial intelligence from all agencies related to fiscal and non-fiscal matters. Then, DIO will suggest the best value proposition or the best incentive package available based on the digital investment leads provided. Once the investor is ready to submit the application, DIO or relevant IPAs will then evaluate the application and will table it at the National Committee on Investment, or in short, NCI. So the next pillar is facilitation, which can be divided into 2 parts: pre-approval and also post-approval. For pre-approval, based on the value proposition suggested by the investor, DIO will determine the relevant stakeholders to assist in facilitation by leveraging on the existing resources, committee, or task force. And under the post-approval, the specific IPAs which table the application at NCI will be then be the account manager for the investor. DIO will continue to assist in streamlining the necessary facilitation for investors, which include, but not limited to, expatriate post and talent requirement. Post-investment related matters, will be channeled to the Project Acceleration and Coordination Unit, or in short, PACU, to enable speedy and efficient implementation of projects in the country. So for your information, PACU was established in June last year under the Penjana initiative to provide end-to-end facilitation for all projects approved by the NCI. So under the policy advocacy pillars, DIO will recommend appropriate policy advocacy in relation to the development of digital investment. Next, please. I wish to highlight here that the promotion of digital investment will continue to be undertaken by respective IPAs, which is in accordance with their respective mandates. MIDA will continue to remain as the key coordinator for all digital investment promotion, in line with MIDA's role as the principal investment promotion agency of the country. Investors may leverage on MIDA's 20 overseas offices globally and 12 state offices in the country, as well as direct engagement with all respective IPAs or online inquiries through Malaysia Heart of Digital ASEAN MyModa online portal, which is also going live today for any inquiries or facilitation required from DIO. Next. Next, please. Moving forward, Malaysia will continue to reinvent itself in strategic digital tech industries. The country's existing economic sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, and other services sectors will need to expand in line with the convergence of traditional and digital economies to continue to remain relevant and competitive. Supported with the rapid growth of digitalization adoption, there will be enormous opportunities for investors to explore in the new emerging technologies. The technology enablers that we are focusing are based on, but not limited to, MySTIE 1010 framework, such as 5G, cybersecurity, augmented analytics, sensor technology, and many more. It is envisioned that more companies will adopt digital technologies to keep up with the ever-changing global business landscape. As digital is a fast evolution segment, we also welcome new breed of technology that can enhance Malaysia's capability as a digital nation. Next, please. Various corridors and states in Malaysia have dedicated organizations that focus on nurturing and developing the growth and the expansion of their respective digital economy ecosystem. As DIO looks into optimization of available resources with integrated efforts in the investment promotion initiative, we encourage and we urge all investors to take advantage of our industrial strengths in the different regions and corridors of Malaysia. So with that, I end my presentation. Thank you.
Hear you. Yeah.
Good. The next segment of the panel discussion is going to be very interesting for investors, right? Including my organization, the Deloitte. Deloitte is a global professional services firm providing various types of services from traditional audit and tax. The newer one that we are offering, including IT consultancy, cybersecurity, data analytics, forensic, e-discovery, and the like. We look forward to investment-friendly policy for us to bring more such regional activities, right, from our global offices to Malaysia. At the moment, out of 2,500 people that we have in Malaysia, probably over 300 of them are performing various forms of regional activities. exporting high value add services out of Malaysia. We also help to bring foreign investors into Malaysia. Many of them are in the tax-based MNCs. And we require a lot of talent. So we also play a part in providing practical training to local talent. Now, there are a lot of questions that the investors would like to know as to how the country progresses and what kind of opportunities that are available to this country. Maybe the first questions I would like to pose to Razif, right? And we know in Malaysia, there are many investment promotion agencies that are driving similar objective in attracting investment. At times it causes confusion. Personally, I view that the establishment of DIO is a terrific move. Kudos to the relevant authorities that make this happen. Now, what is your advice to investors who are interested to make their first entry into the Malaysian market? Razif?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank Puan Rose for doing the heavy lifting just now. Sorry, Puan Rose, but it was well presented. I'll answer that question in this way. I think you began by saying there are many IPAs here in Malaysia. So I would say that the key difference in case of the DIO is that it is focused on digital investments. That will be the primary difference. And also from the presentation that Puan Rose made just now, DIO presents an opportunity for us to have a single window, a single point of contact to act as a coordinating platform. So the different IPAs are not left out. They are in members by invitation to the DIO. They can be called in for discussion. They can ask to come into a discussion whenever it is necessary. So the whole goal of this coordinating platform is that we optimize our offerings to the investor and therefore enhance our ability to close at any given time. So it will be basically MDEC working together with MIDA as well as the IPAs, for example, the regions, in offering the best that Malaysia can in a particular scenario or particular situation. So we enhance our ability to capture that investment rather than lose it to our very competitive neighbors, as you know, in the ASEAN region. MIDA remains as the primary promotion agency for investments because it's best positioned to do so with its network around a global network. So we are excited, MDEC is excited to work closely with MIDA to leverage this network that they have to reach out to the investors and actively bring them into Malaysia. And the IPAs, in that sense, will be providing what we call their USPs will be the local knowledge. There will be USPs which are specific to the local regional areas or specific spaces that they operate within that they can offer that we can't. MIDA and MDEC itself cannot. There are limitations, of course, in every agency or every organization. So what we do as a coordinating platform will be to bring it all together and make the best offer possible. Yeah. So I think, and to answer your question, what is the advice? Just check out the Malaysia Heart of Digital online portal. The information is all there. Of course, in these early days, there are already, networks or communication channel open directly to MDEC or MIDA. We'll make sure it all goes back to the DIO. So it doesn't really matter. I think the main goal here is to secure investments for Malaysia. I'll stop there. Yeah.
Thank you, Razif. As we speak, questions are flowing in. So there are a lot of audience that are very keen about this most listened development and would like to find out more. So the next questions, perhaps I can post it to Puan Rose, right? Where we know Malaysia has been known as a very investor-friendly nation. There are ample supply of world-class talent with multi lingual capability, right? The infrastructure cost is also generally good and reasonable, right, in terms of the comprehensiveness. However, I think there are still areas of improvement in certain policies and processes, right? For example, on the immigration rules and some definitions of what would qualify for tax incentive, how to calculate and quantify value add portion, which is a major conditions that to be fulfilled to enjoy tax incentive, right? So there are also some issues when investors, after they have come in and in operation, they have to deal with the enforcement agencies like Inland Revenue Board, which at time may be in disagreement with them on the amount of tax exemption that could be claimed. Bond Rose, maybe we can find out from you more as regards how this DIO can address some of these concerns that the investors have, right? Before they come in, when they come in, and after they have come in and already in operation.
All right, okay. Thank you. As I presented just now, under the, the DIO framework, under the pillar of policy advocacies. So we addresses the issues on operational issues or any policies issues in regards to implementation of projects in Malaysia. So DIO will suggest appropriate policy advocacy in relation to development of digital investment. So on top of that, under MIDA pillars also, policy advocacy is one of our, I would say, strong pillars, whereby we have been working closely with other ministries, and we also provide our inputs in terms of policies for the formulation of 12 Malaysian plan, and then digital economy blueprint, the new formulation of new industrial master plan, which will be launched soon for the period of 2021 to 2030. So this is part and parcel of the, I would say, our engagement with relevant ministries and agencies to ensure that, investors' interests are taken care into. Apart from that, for example, we set up the Data Center Investment Coordination Task Force just to ensure that, the task force investment that, the data center investment that we are currently targeting on, with the policies issues, regulatory issues are being taken into consideration to ensure that smooth implementation of projects in the country. So that are some of the few examples in terms of the proactive functions that we take in relation to investors in our formulation of policies. So I'll stop there. Encik Razif, would you want to add in terms of MDEC's role here?
Yeah, not so much MDEC, but basically bersama MDEC and MIDA, as Puan Rose has touched on, we will be at the front lines, basically listening to investors, and that will include issues and challenges they have. And our role, we will be able to aggregate this feedback, this information, and then feed it back to our policymakers, our stakeholders, in terms of what the issues are and where we should be going, what we should be doing, and that sort of thing. I think this will allow for better, more informed decisions to be made at the top. So if there was a reference to current challenges, etc., rest assured that DIO will be doing its best in this area. We basically providing the necessary information to our stakeholders, to the government, to be able, so that they are able to make informed decisions that are best for Malaysia's economic development. So because we are talking to the investors themselves, so we understand the pain and we can convey those messages to the right people. So hopefully this is how DIO will play its role as well. I mean, among the many perspectives.
Good, thank you. Originally, we were supposed to end this dialogue by 10:15, but because there are so many questions that are flowing in, I was told that we are going to extend it by another 10 minutes. So we will put a hard stop by 10:25. So please, audience, more questions. Happy to receive that and be answered by our learned panelists here this morning. Now let's move on to the questions that I've seen it here on my screen. Malaysia has got a lot of fiscal incentive offered to the investors, and the incentive framework, reinvestment investment framework are very comprehensive. I would say one of the best in the world, because in the course of my work, I do have the opportunity to compare our tax incentive framework vis-a-vis the other countries, especially the neighboring countries in Southeast Asia. However, moving forward, right, the investors are looking for more than just a tax incentive, right? More so in the light of the recent proposal of having a global minimum tax rate, right? Which is a concept that was first mooted by G7 and then G20, whereby under this global minimum tax concept, multinational corporations, right, is required to pay a minimum tax rate, and that tax rate is still being debated. It could be 15% or 21% or other rate. But if this is eventually introduced, that would mean some of the countries that traditionally relying on tax incentive to attract foreign investment may no longer be as attractive. So I think this country, Malaysia, we would need to transform and reinvent ourselves and look at what kind of strengths that we have, right, to continually attract foreign investment. I think talent would be a great strength that we have, ample supply of talent, multilingual, and the compensation level is also not at the highest. But personally, I also feel some of the challenges in terms of talent attractions, right? Tapping on the local talent pool. We know there's only so much local talents that we have, and not all of them, right, when they graduate, has got the international work experience and exposure. And therefore, we'll probably need to bring in some foreign talent to work with the local talent, blend them together so as to uplift, right, the quality of the local talent and accelerate their development. And I've seen some of the local talent having worked side by side, hand in hand with the foreign talent. After a while, right, really come out and can play some international role as well. So maybe apart from just tax incentive, maybe I could ask bond rules and also Razif, what else that Malaysia can offer? Talent is something that worth talking about. I think investors would like to know what is our policy towards foreign talent, and some other things that you think Malaysia is attractive in attracting foreign investment, and also keep the local investment intact and not losing them to overseas. Bond rules?
All right, okay, thank you for the questions. MIDA has been very focused on targeting quality investment in line with our current policies and strategies to attract FDI. So we normally try to target high technology, high value added, knowledge and capital intensive based projects. So this is part of our selective in our investment promotion, given the high intensity of competition among our peers in the ASEAN region. So we will look at ecosystem approach. So these are the I would say among the strategies that we have taken, and we target investors to complete our gaps in the value chain of each of the industry. As the economy transform and digital ecosystem integrate, So what we'll do is that we integrate both digital and also manufacturing industries to create the value and ensure that the the industry continue to thrive. Another, I think, aspect that we should take into consideration is that Malaysia has the advantage because we are located at the prime geographical location in the center of ASEAN. So basically, we have world-class infrastructure, we have business-friendly policies, and as you correctly mentioned, we have multilingual talent to optimize, the operational efficiency. From MIDA, point of view, talent is an essential pillar. So with the rise of digitalization, we have actually looked into how to elevate our, talent into digital. So the ongoing effort that we have done is by, setting up of MIDA Assessment Development Center, or in short, MDEC, which is trilateral cooperation between MIDA, universities, and also companies, which we aim to nurture and develop young leaders for future hybrid talent in terms of combination of technical and soft skills, so that they are able to show flexibility and adaptability to start at lower skills and then progress to the right leadership as required by the industry. So these talents will be exposed to the relevant skill, for example, like Industry 4.0, Internet of Things, robotics, AI, big data, and cybersecurity and other digital technologies. So I'll stop there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If I could add on to that, generally speaking, I think the game has moved on from just being focused on fiscal incentives anyway. I think with developments on base erosion, profit shifting, etc., there is a need for countries to look at beyond fiscal incentives for sustainability, to continue to be attractive to the eyes of the investor. I think in that sense, we are quite well positioned. I think Malaysia offers a balanced set of virtues, which spans from relative cost competitiveness, I mean, within the region, of course, and when you balance that with things like technological sophistication in terms of internet penetration rates, use of smartphones, infrastructure, etc., literacy and education, a reference to talent. I think Puan Rose also mentioned that. This is clearly a key area, as well as cultural and geographical advantages. I mean, we are among the most traveled countries in the world, and there is a reason for that. People like to be here. Yeah, it's the weather, it's the people, it's the food, etc., and all that. So this including, again, Puan Rose mentioned geographical advantage. Being at the center of ASEAN makes it easy to sort of like reach ASEAN and probably even Far East destinations in a shorter time period. So we offer the complete package. Hence, we're branding Heart of Digital ASEAN. It is clearly an advantage here. So for investors who are thinking of a base in ASEAN, so Kuala Lumpur, Greater Kuala Lumpur, of course, rest of Malaysia becomes high on their minds, as well as a base from which to expand into the wider ASEAN market, or to service the wider ASEAN market, as well as beyond ASEAN. It makes Malaysia, again, a very viable, a very interesting proposition, something they cannot ignore in that sense. We're definitely on that short list, yeah? So I think, again, I will echo what Puan Rose MIDA is saying. Talent is the key. I think this is why MDEC has, if you are aware, we have a range of programs covering from school students right up to tertiary graduates, etc., recent graduates. These are programs that are designed to provide the necessary talent to the investors. And we have the facilitation and support services that can help investors who come in and get that talent. And we are constantly trying to improve on that and to make sure we are at the forefront, or at least the front runners when they are considering where to place their investments. I think I'll stop there as well.
Yeah, I just want to add just now, MIDA and also MDEC has a committee that looks after the approvals for expatriates. So it means that this, expatriate is given the key post or term post depending on the requirement of the companies. So that is part of the, I would say, facilitation given by Malaysian government to extract knowledge-based talent into the country.
So Puan, I think as investors, sometimes we face this challenge, right? Where when it comes to application, manufacturing license, getting the project approved, right? We go to the investment promotion agencies like MIDA and MDEC. But then when we want to implement and execute our plan, say to bring in the foreign workers and foreign expertise, we will have to go to the immigration, and at times, right, the challenge that we face could be that there was lack of coordination, and it will take a longer time, right, to get the immigration department to approve eventually the visa and work permit. Is that something that this is there's continuous improvement such that various government departments work more?
Mr. Yi, we lost you.
Mr. Yi? Organizers, any technical assistance? Mr. Yi looks concerned. Something happened.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Sorry, sometimes this is technical glitches. I'm sure you can hear me now.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I don't know where did I stop. Do you want me to just repeat the question?
Challenges regarding bringing in this foreign talent, things like that, something along those lines.
Correct. You see, when come to getting the investment endorsed and approved, right, we'll go to the investment promotion agency, whereas when come to the actual execution by bringing in the foreign workers and foreign talent, we have to go to the immigration department to get the work permit, and sometimes the challenges that faced by the investors is that not all the times that various government departments work seamlessly, right, and coordinatedly. So are there areas like such as this that is being looked at to ensure continuous improvement? One, and also Razif.
Right, Razif, I'll start first. Yeah. So okay. In MIDA, we have a committee that looks after the expatriate post-approval. So basically, as you correctly mentioned, there are also approving committee at the immigration department, and also, if I'm not mistaken, at MDEC as well. So companies that MIDA is facilitating, so it means that if let's say they are manufacturing companies, they have a manufacturing license, or services company that have incentive approval from MIDA, so they can use MIDA to ask for their expatriate post to be approved. Because we have a committee here in MIDA that do such approval. How different it is between MIDA and also Immigration Department is that the one that MIDA approved is the expat that the salary is being paid more than 5,000 ringgit Malaysia. So it means that it is, I would say the talented or knowledge expat with 5,000. So that expat approval will be assisted by MIDA. And then once it is approved, we have also our Immigration Department located in MIDA building. So it means that all the approval that is being approved by MIDA can, walk in and use the MIDA Immigration Office to do the work permit. So that's how, MIDA assists in terms of getting the expat work permit and approval for them to, to operate in Malaysia. Razif, perhaps you want to elaborate on your committee?
Yeah, I think this question was an expected one. I think the devil is in the details. Everybody, I mean, at MDEC we have two routes to be able to address, foreign expatriate posts and all that. It will be under the MSc route if you're also applying for an MSc status. So that's a given. You get that benefit, as well as if you're an ICT company, you can also apply for foreign knowledge workers to come on board. I think as long as the value propositions and the eligibility requirements are met strongly and clearly, I don't see any reason why an application will face any issues. I think most of the time it's usually a case of clarity. What is this position for? What is the value? What in terms of what is the pay? Those kind of things. Those are if you tick all the boxes, I think there shouldn't be any issues. And going forward, I think this will also be a good place for both MIDA and MDEC to coordinate on issues relating to this. And given the strong mandate that's been given and the acknowledgement that digital investments are the way forward for Malaysia as well, among other things, I think we will be able to see, if not improvements, at least we will be able to meet the requirements of the investors going forward. I don't see any issues there.
So when we talk about expatriate approval, if the companies are going to, it's an MSc company, right? So qualify for the MSc status incentive, and they need to bring in the expatriates. Will they still need to go to MIDA, or basically now they can go to the DIO?
Okay, for that, because there is already an established route, what will probably happen or likely happen, in fact, is already happening now, would be we will present the information alongside the DIO, so that DIO is kept abreast of the applications that are going into our MSc application system, which is online. But anything that facilitation which doesn't go through the system and brought in by our people will always be sort of like immediately brought to the attention of the DIO and discussed there. However, once it goes into the system, it could be someone in the US who's applying directly into our system. So what we will do is probably we will bring that information and table it at the DIO as well, for the DIO's information that these companies are already in the process of applying for the MSc status, so that the DIO still is informed of developments on the MSc side. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It seems that there's a strong interest on MSc status incentive one question again related to this is, there was an IP intellectual property incentive granted to MSc status companies. Is this incentive still in existence? If not, will that be revisited?
Okay, Puan Rose will have strong views on this as well. This is something that we would like to bring back. At this point in time, it's not available under the MSc space, but it is these are improvements on the MSc that we want to see going forward. I think the MSc status is something that was given birth 25 years ago, right? There is a need to make it continue to be relevant in these days, in these interesting times we live in today. And we are already in terms of progress, we are already talking to the government in terms of how we can enhance the MSc status incentives. Puan Rose, ada additional views?
For MIDA, the IP incentive is already announced, and we have finalized the guideline, and any companies that are interested to apply IP incentive, you are most welcome to apply it through MIDA. So from MIDA, non-MSc is already available.
Yeah. So I think this is where we have to work together with MIDA, you know, either we supplement, augment, or support each other so we don't lose anything along the way.
Okay, so one question I think probably will come back to what we have discussed about just now in relation to digital economy company, say if they are coming from EU or US or ASEAN, apart from tax incentive, and also some of the unique strength that both Puan and Jet Razif have mentioned, are there some substantive or concrete incentive that government offer to attract this type of activities? Are you all looking at providing R&D grant, which subsidy, training grant, or even energy tariff if they are heavy user of energy, such as data center and the like?
I think, again, in the same vein as my answer earlier, we are working with the government to revamp and improve and make it the MSc incentives more relevant to reflecting the times. So everything is on the table. I mean, we are considering a range of things. So hopefully this will at some point bear fruit. But I think what I wanted to say was that we are also these things that you mentioned, you know, for example, tariffs and all those things are already being addressed in an indirect way. I mean, through our facilitation work, I think Puan Rose can also agree with me. We are working with parties like TNB, for example, in looking at tariff rates where it is relevant, and we facilitate negotiations between investors and the primary utility player. So that kind of while we wait for those more concrete things that the question asked for, we are addressing it in those ways. I think so. Along the way, I mean, these are things that we can negotiate and talk about. And we would encourage interested investors to come and ask and inquire, and we can see what we can do. So again, DIO as a coordination platform, we are able to reach out to different parties across Malaysia to bring them on board, and then bring them into the discussion in terms of what can you do for this investor and all that. And then it becomes sort of like a multi-party discussion in terms of bringing the best offer possible that we can make to the potential investor.
Thank you, Razif. In the interest of time, I think I can only pose one final question. Digital is a fast evolution segment. So there's and the spectrum is so big, right? So thick. In which tech area does DIO aim to elevate to enhance Malaysia's capability as a digital nation? You know, from my experience, I've seen a lot of manufacturing companies. Say, if you can pick the semiconductor manufacturing companies in Penang, they started to put their manufacturing activities in Penang. And from there, they realized that Malaysian talents are so great. And since then, they probably will expand, right, to bring in service related activities to Malaysia, serving their region and serving even their global operation, which include R&D activities, supply chain management, legal, HR, treasury, accounting, procurement, and the like. So these are certainly a very good development, and is a recognition of what Malaysia can do. My question now is that what specifically a few areas that you guys are targeting? Global business services, in my view, is something that Malaysia has got the unique strength for us to play a big role in the global arena.
I think on MDEC's part, I think my CEO has mentioned in her speech earlier regarding the future five-year plan, yeah, where we have identified five key trust areas, which are AgTech, Health Tech, Clean Tech, EduTech, and Islamic digital economy and fintech as the areas that we are interested in going forward. In terms of the technologies, we're looking at cloud computing, data center, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and digital content tools. But I would like this as well as digital global business services, which has always been what we call our bread and butter in terms of investments. A large number of our investments are in that space. So, but then you see, having said that, these are sort of strategies, etc. It doesn't mean that we don't look at other areas, but these are areas that we would like to focus on, and would like to see investments coming in these areas because we feel that they will be able to contribute to the economy in significant ways. But of course, if you are outside these areas, we would still be interested to talk to you and facilitate and bring you into Malaysia.
So glad to hear that, Razif. A final word from you, Puan Rose.
Yeah, I just want to echo to what Razif mentioned just now. We are aggressively promoting global services. So you did mention on GBS just now. So we have an incentive scheme called Principal Hub that is complementing digital GBS. So in the, moving forward, global services is one of the targeted sectors that we are heavily promoting. Secondly is that on the digital tech development, not limited to MIDA 1010 framework. So those are, I would say, the new emerging technologies that we are targeting on as well, as what Encik Razif mentioned, cloud computing, AI, IoT, because we feel that those are the fundamental, technology development that is required by the government, by the companies now to, to accelerate the automation and digitalization of their, operation. So I'll stop there. So, but what we're saying is that global services is the way forward, for the country in the next coming years. Thank you.
That's it. That's exciting. One quick question that flow in for investors that want to bring in key expatriate posts. Is there a requirement to advertise locally before they are allowed to bring in foreign expatriates?
I don't think so. Not to my knowledge. Yeah.
Okay, so glad to do that. Okay, so glad to hear that. And unfortunately, there's only so much time that we have, right? So thank you everyone for attending these sessions. The participation from the audience has been terrific. So thank you, our panelists, for sharing your insights and responding very candidly to some of the questions that are raised. We hope that you gain understanding and have more awareness as regards what Digital Investment Office can facilitate your journey to land and expand in Malaysia. And for more information, please visit Malaysia Heart of Digital ASEAN portal at www.heartofdigitalASEAN.my. With that, I wish you a good day and enjoy the rest of the Malaysia Tech Month program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ye. Puan Ros, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that certainly was an engaging discussion indeed. And thank you, Mr. Yi. So moving along, we will now be moving to our next session, which will begin shortly. So don't forget, click join session.